What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another live stream here at Integrity Doctors. My name is Ryan Wall, and I'm the president of Integrity Doctors, and it's my pleasure to be with you today. I'm so pumped. This went really well last time, and so we're doing it again here. I'm really excited, if you can't tell. I'm ready to do this. It's time. It's Wednesday. We're ready. I hope you're ready. Before I get started, I do have a couple announcements, just a couple of things just to get out the way to start with. Make sure, like I mentioned to you last time, make sure you register for Summer Spectacular. It is happening. We've been talking to the officials in Kansas City, and everything is a go so far. So we want to make sure you're registered for Summer Spectacular, August 15th, 2020, at the Kansas City Music Hall in downtown Kansas City. It's going to be phenomenal. We got Joe Theismann, NFL quarterback. We've got Carly Patterson from the Olympics, and we've got one of my favorite speakers, Darius Daniels. And it's going to be one awesome day, including myself. Keith is going to be there as well. It's going to be phenomenal. You don't want to miss it. It's a glow party theme. We're going to have a blast. So make sure you're registered for that. Also, another new thing. This is something that we haven't talked about that we're very excited. Starting in June, so just a few short weeks away here, somewhere in the middle of June, we're going to start a new web video series. Now, this is something we've been working on for a while now because of coronavirus and because we're stuck at home, and now that I can do these streams. We have been interviewing doctors. We've been interviewing industry professionals, but different people in the industry that are experts in their fields. And we're going to start releasing these episodes weekly so that you can start getting some interviews. So whether you're a student just wanting to learn more about chiropractic, or you're in the profession and just want some positivity, we've created this show called Chiropractic Awesomeness. And I host it, and I interview each of these doctors, and I interview these industry experts, and it's going so phenomenally well. And I'm so excited about this opportunity. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun, and I really can't wait for you to see it because it just gives some great insight. Great insight, and it gives you some great way to meet and learn about some people that you don't normally know about. And you may have seen them out at a conference. You may have met them in person. You may have remembered them from school, or you may have don't even know who they are. But it's nice to know what others are doing, and it's nice to see how others are doing in chiropractic. So it's going to be a really fun deal. The next one, now this one's a little different. This is a plug for something that I'm not even involved with, but I had the pleasure. I was emailed a couple days ago, and I had the pleasure of watching a pre-screening of a movie that's coming out later in July. And it's a movie called A Better Way. And I got to tell you what, I don't normally talk about these things because I don't push this stuff because I don't like to branch out. But this is something that I thought was awesome. My wife and I watched it the other night for the premiere on Monday night, and it's incredible. It's a movie that's been created by Dr. Tabor Smith in Houston, Texas, and it's all about the opioid crisis and how we need to beat it and how we need chiropractic as the solution. It is phenomenal. Now, the movie doesn't come out until July, so it's not out yet. However, they're actually doing a free screening for chiropractors right now. So if you want to see it before it comes out, before it's released, there is an opportunity to tonight. So tonight you can watch it. You can stream it from your phone onto your TV or to a computer. But you go to abetterwayfilm.com, and you can actually, just all you got to give them is your email address, and they'll send you a link to the video. And that's it. It's tonight and tomorrow night. The only 2 nights left that they're doing it. I'm telling you, it's awesome. Absolutely incredible. I loved it. My wife loved it. I wouldn't be getting on here to this. This was not planned or anything. I wouldn't be saying it if I didn't think it wasn't a great message. So I want you to check that out. Go check that out. It's an incredible film. We're going to have Dr. Tabor Smith on the interview, the Chiropractic Awesomeness, even later on. So I'm very pumped about that. Should be a really, really neat thing. Lastly, before I get started here, excuse me, you may have noticed my phone number's back on the screen. Now, oh, there it is, right over there. If you were on last time, you know what this means. This means that because I'm doing this live, I can't really answer your questions live. It's just not easy for me. It's good enough that we get all this done. So if you have any questions from anything that I say, I want you to text them to me. This is my text number. I placed on the screen last time. If you've never texted me before, all you have to do is text the word integrity to my number, 941-214-9007. All you do is text the word integrity. That's it. And then send me one more text after that with your question. Now, the funny part is I did this last time. And when I did it last time, the funny thing was I felt like everyone thought it was some type of just marketing scam. Like it was just like an automatic thing, and you just get these automatic texts like you see in all types of businesses. So half the messages I got just said, is this really you? And I had a blast replying, yes, it is. It's me. What can I do for you? And I can tell you, I answered over 1,000 texts within the first 48 hours. I had a blast doing it. So if you have a question, that is my number. It only goes to my phone. My phone is currently in airplane mode because I don't want it going off if you start texting me right now. But as we start going through this, if you have a question over something that comes up, feel free to text me. And keep in mind, you may want to listen through the whole thing first because there's a lot. I cover a lot. There's a lot going on in this. It's very technical, but I try to cover it in such a way that it makes sure that you know everything going on. So there's no second guessing. There's no wondering, is this working? There's no wondering, well, what do? I don't know. I'm going to try to make sure that we cover everything. So I'm going to make this as easy as possible as I can. All right? Makes sense? Awesome. You ready to do this? Again, 941-214-9007. Can't beat it. Text me. It's there. I also send you every Monday, I send out a motivational text. The text of awesomeness is what I call it. And I just like to do that stuff. So if you could, let's do this thing, because this is going to be maybe not so fun, but I promise you we're going to do this. I'm going to try to do it in under an hour. I don't know about the timing because I've never given it before. If I can do it in 30 minutes, I'll do it in 30 minutes. If I can give it an hour, it'll be an hour. The main thing is for me today is I want to make sure that everything that I talk about, you understand. And if I don't want to just fly through it, I want to make sure you get it and you understand it, because this stuff is important. All right? All right, let's do this thing. You ready? Let's start the live stream. All right, let's jump into this thing. I'm super pumped for this. This is going to be great. First off, when Google attacks, now let's just be honest. I want to just start with, it's kind of a thing to attract you to get to watch this, because anytime you talk about Google doing something wrong, it's pretty much an easy thing to pick up anybody. It's an easy way to get you to watch. Now, they didn't attack you. So let's just start with there. They didn't attack you, technically. However, the stuff I'm going to talk about today, the changes that have been implemented by Google, is going to feel like an attack. It's going to feel a little personal. It's going to feel like something that's not good. And I get that. But I have to remind you, before we start, don't shoot the messenger. Okay, I'm the messenger. I didn't do this. This isn't my fault. I didn't do this stuff. So I have to warn you there. Now, the second part I have to warn you about this is that this is very unique. It applies to pretty much any small business. If you were a small business that sells a good or a service and you have to come into the business, that's really what this class is about. So at the end of this deal, if you're wondering if someone else should listen, we will have it available on our Facebook page so you can share it. So if you want to share it with other businesses for them to watch, not all the solutions I'll provide will be available to everyone. However, it at least gives you an understanding of what's happening, because if you have a good or a service, this is what that's for. Now, if you run a business that's totally web-based, that's not what this is for. There is a difference between the way you do web marketing with a business that's online solely and a business that relies on an actual customer entering the premises. That is a big part of it. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to tell you everything. I'm going to try to give it to you straight. I'm going to tell you everything I know. Now, most of you know, when I started at Integrity 15 years ago, I really got my start and really grew myself because of websites. I took over the website program that we had that was really small and pretty much 10 times it. I took it from 144 websites that the company was doing to a little over 1,500. So I really kind of came into the game. Now, I didn't really know websites. It wasn't really a strong suit of mine, but I saw a different way to do things. And I've always been that way. I've always been the type of person that doesn't just settle for the way we do things. Now, here we are 15 years later, and I'm the president of Integrity Doctors, and I'm thrilled to be the president of Integrity Doctors. And I want to make sure you all understand, just as a reminder, I don't do the websites. I haven't done them in years. We have a team that is awesome that does that. So the one thing I am really good at, though, is making this stuff make sense. I'm a communicator. That's what I do. So that I am taking what I have been told, what we have in reference. We've been talking to industry experts in the search engine industry. We've been talking to our IT people, our hosts, everyone, just to make sure that we had the right information for you. And so for that, I want to make sure that I give you the right information. So when you don't send me a text saying, Ryan, I need you to do something on my website. I don't do it anymore. I don't know how. It's not my thing. But I do know enough to understand this stuff. And I do know enough to answer your questions about it. But I won't be the one actually physically working on your website. Okay? So I also need to point out one simple disclaimer. I'm going to give you some really awesome tools today. I'm going to show you how to help your business immensely online. But I also have to start this off with the simple premise of I can't guarantee anything. It's the basic disclaimer. I'm going to help you as best I can. I'm going to give you the answers as best I can. But I can't guarantee ranking. I can't guarantee top placement. I can't guarantee anything. I don't run Google. Wish I did have a lot more money. This podcast would look a whole lot different. I'd probably have, Brad Pitt running through the background or something. I could do lots of different things that would be fascinating and interesting. But since I don't run Google and I run Integrity Doctors, well, that means we're going to do it this way. So I'm going to make sure I can't guarantee everything, but I'm going to do my best to help you any way that I possibly can. So where this all starts, and this is where I'm going to try to leave the examples and all the different illustrations out of this and just jump right in and give you the nuts and bolts. Okay? So where this starts is we were technically not doing as much website stuff as a company because Google, even though we had made some predictions about things back in 2017, it was being very slow to happen. And we still didn't see it happening. There were things that we didn't really know at the time. We didn't know when or where. And it just so happened out of nowhere. Pretty much no one saw it coming. On May 4th, 2020, Google released a brand new algorithm for their search that changed everything. It was actually even released a little sooner. They started implementing it around the last April 22nd, 21st, around there. But then the full rollout, global, worldwide, hit on May 4th and took about a week to fully roll out. Now, these changes were unreal. In fact, one of the people we've talked to that's a big player in the game in terms of search engines, he said that it's the biggest rollout, the biggest change in the search since 2003. And we couldn't agree more. I mean, we instantly saw, even the websites that we host, the doctors we have, we saw rankings just starting to drop and everything started to change. And there was really no indication of why, or really no explanation for why. It was just like, what's happening? Why are they flipped everything upside down? And so we started looking into it to see who was most affected by this, because there's always a victim. There's always going to be one. There's always someone that gets hit harder. And there's certain industries that hit it. And our problem is that we are a double and triple whammy in a lot of ways. Because here's the areas that were hit the hardest. Small businesses with one location, nutrition and recipe websites, fitness websites, news websites, drugs, alcohol, and rehab websites, science and medical websites, banking and finance websites, music and entertainment websites, natural medicine websites, and history websites. All of these really took the brunt of this change in algorithm. Now, what does that mean? What that means is here, I've got a basic graph for you. This is someone that's been analyzing the sites. So if you look at the graph, the green, when you see the green on the screen here, you'll notice that the green it actually starts at early April and it goes up to about April 21st. And you see it's just kind of steady green everywhere. Steady green means every day the rankings were showing up the same. Everything was going the same. There's just constantness in terms of how sites were showing up and how the rankings between Google My Business and the organic rankings started just being the same as they've always been. And somewhere around April 23rd, you see that about April 22nd-ish, it went haywire. And all of a sudden, everything's up and down and all over the place. And whoa, it was just a total shock to the system. Like, what happened? So when this all started happening, Google released a lot of statements, and they actually released one of their Google experts to help discuss this and to help go over this. And they did multiple webinars on it and live streams themselves. And the man that hosted is on their web analyst team, their search analyst, John Mueller. And John Mueller said this. I'm going to read it from the screen because this is where it changes. He said, ranking isn't always the goal. Your site can rank well, but if nobody searches for it, that's not really useful. From that, great content alone, even if it's world class, does not mean you'll get great traffic. Now, what does that mean? What that means is your ranking no longer matters to them. So what it means is they don't want anyone to be the number 1, number 2, or number 3 all the time. They want it varying all the time. They want it changing all the time. It also means that Google pretty much effectively got rid of the organic ranking. The organic ranks, which are all of the website lists that come after the business locations, all the organic listings, those are pretty much non-existent. They don't mean anything anymore. They're not putting any work into them. They're not putting any weight into them. So worrying about what page you pull up on the organic section is pointless anymore. It doesn't matter. Google doesn't care, so you don't need to care either. But just by them saying ranking isn't always the goal is totally different than what all of us have ever done or ever said or ever thought. It's always been ranking is the goal. The goal is to be top placement. The goal is to be page 1. But now they're saying that's not the goal. So if that's not the goal, what is the goal? What do we do now? And that's understanding what Google's new direction is. Google's new direction is a data versus directory. Now, what I mean by that is that if you look at the search trends, if you look at the main way that most people are using the web right now, the main reason and way that people are using Google, it's not to find businesses. It's actually just to find information. They're looking up health information. They're looking up coronavirus. They're looking up news. They're looking up history. They're looking up school stuff. They're looking up all kinds of things. But what they're really not doing is just going on there and using it as a business search. So because the majority of their work is being done on the data side, the directory side, which is what we've always been a part of and we've always used as a small business, isn't the priority anymore. So in other words, people are spending more time looking for answers than looking for businesses. And because of that, it means Google's changing the way the search works, and they're changing their priority, which means their priority comes away from the directory part for small businesses and moves more to just the data-driven stuff. So that's important to understand, because when you start seeing these things I'm about to show you, you're gonna say, well, why are they doing this? Well, it's just because it's not the biggest part of their business anymore. So they don't care as much about it. And that leads me to the fun and not so fun point of the talk. And that's this one slide. This is the one slide that I have to point out. It's kind of the, because I know this is, I'm just telling you, this is not a fun class. This is not a uplifting class, because this is stuff that's business related. This is stuff that we all need to know. But there's a thing that I've called Google entitlement. And it's this, you feel like because you're a business, you should be able to show up in Google. You want to make sure that if you were searched for, that you are found. And as ugly as it sounds, there's no such thing as Google entitlement. Google is a privately owned company, and they can do whatever in the world they want. And right now, they've chosen to do some things that aren't so great. Now, the problem that we're going to have here is that even if you've shown up great before, you may stop showing up now, and you're going to want someone to blame. And the only one to blame is them, but it's their system. They can do whatever they want. See, when Google first came out, to be the biggest search in the world, to become the biggest search, they were a great company. They were friendly. They were nice. They were sweet. They even were advertising themselves. Just, we'll help you. We want to help you. Not so much anymore. Not so much anymore. Now they have a different direction, and we've made them huge. I mean, they control everything. I mean, they run everything. They even do home products. You've got devices like those Google Home things like Amazon Alexa. You've got all these areas where Google is now that they weren't before, and we're using them in ways that we weren't before. So for this, you have to understand they're a private company, and they built a private thing. Now, I know that we all use it, and I know that 90% of this world uses it, which means it feels like it should be a public thing that we should all control. But again, it's a private company. And being a private company means we can't control it. It means that we have to just move when they say move. Go when they say go. So they don't owe us anything. Even if we feel like they should, even if we feel like we deserve, remember, they're a private company, And that's how these decisions are made. Because at the end of the day, Google is still a gangster. Now, if you wonder what that means, back in 2017, I taught a web marketing class called the Google Gangster. And I likened Google to being just like Don Corleone from the Godfather movies, meaning just like Don Corleone, who ran the family, called the family, did everything, made the decisions, told everybody how it was going to be, made offers no one could refuse, and everybody had to follow, everyone had to listen. That's really what Google's doing here. Google's saying, this is our search. This is our domain. This is our stuff. If you want to show up good, you're going to have to do what we want you to do. You can't just get around us anymore. You can't do it your own way. You can't just buy it from another company. We're going to make sure that you do what we want. And that's what they're saying, and it's still happening. So it's ironic now. I was looking back before I did this at my class I taught in 2017, and literally 90% of what was in there that we predicted was about to change all did change. We've always been ahead of the game. We've always been there, and that's why even we did this. We weren't planning on doing this webinar. This whole live stream wasn't going to happen, wasn't even in the plan. But when Google came out with this and everything changed, we wanted to be proactive. We wanted you to have answers before everything just started to fall apart, and then you started questioning and being scared and nervous and angry over your results. And so we're hitting this first. So I know what I'm about to talk about isn't fair, but it's going on and it's going to happen whether you agree with it or not. So today, here's what I want to talk about. I want to give you the top 5 biggest Google changes and how to fix them. Okay? I want to tell you how to fix them. Because I don't like just giving you information and then saying, hey, you're on your own. Like, that's not me. That's not how I've ever done anything. That's not how we're going to do this. So I want to make sure you have the information, you know what to do, and I'm going to make sure that you have all the things, the major areas covered that no one else is going to have. So no one else is talking about this. Other companies are going to make you pay to learn this stuff or even pay for consulting to learn this stuff. I'm doing it on Facebook now. I'm doing it on YouTube. I want the public to see it, understand it, have it. And the first one, the problem is actually the first of the top 5, number 1, isn't actually anything you can change. Sorry, but it's a big one, and I want to make sure we cover it. So the first one in the top 5 biggest Google changes is Google's now prioritizing chains. So if you're a chain business, if you're a company with a lot of different locations, you are getting priority. So this means that Google is putting priority over multi-location businesses rather than one location small businesses. So this is this one's the one that really stinks. And this one feels like the dagger for a lot of you that have just opened your dream business and it's just one location. And you get worried about, well, what about these other chains, these other things around me, these others that have multiple clinics? It's just the way it is. Now, here's the reasoning. This is the reason behind Google, and it makes sense from a business standpoint, even though doesn't seem fair. And what their reasoning is that if you are a business that's big enough and successful enough to open up multiple locations, it means that you have the people and the audience to do it, which means you also have the trust of the people. So if you have the trust of the people and the success of the business, and it's doing so well that you can replicate to further expand the audience, it means you must be reputable. It means you must be a good option for someone to choose. So in all this, and keep in mind, I want to make sure I say this and we start at the beginning. Everything I'm going to talk about now is based off of Google My Business. It's based off of the listing in the Google My Business. So when the map pulls up and you see the listings, that's what all of this is based off of, because that's all that matters anymore. The actual rankings don't matter. The organic section doesn't matter. You don't need to worry about it anymore. The only thing you need to worry about is how you show up in the Google My Business listing section. So when it shows the little plot points on the map, that's what we're talking about. So chains. Now the good news is in chiropractic, there aren't a whole lot of chains or a whole lot of people doing multiple locations. But where there are ones with multiple locations, they will start getting priority. Now, I also want to make sure I point this out because we've heard a few of offices where doctors own multiple clinics, but they're under different names. You're not going to get help by this. The only way this works is if you're under the same name. If you're one doctor who owns 5 clinics with 5 different names, Google recognizes that as 5 different businesses. Doesn't matter how your website's set up, doesn't matter how you market it, you're separate. Those are seen as separate entities and separate small businesses. So this is only applies for multiple locations under the same name. So keep in mind this. If you're looking for a reason to, should I go for more? As we go further into the future, when chains matter more, this is going to be a thing that's going to matter. So this is something to be aware of. If you're always wondering, why can't I get above? Well, I have more reviews than them. I have more stuff than them. Chains are going to start getting priority. That's just the way this is going to go. Number 2, Google is limiting natural health. This is the stinger for us. This is, now let me just first point out, of everyone we've talked to, of everyone we've looked into of what's happening, none of them point to chiropractic being limited. None of them point to this as an attack on chiropractic. Chiropractic is seen as essential. The Surgeon General even called it essential. No one is seeing chiropractic as that. Chiropractic is a certified perfect thing. So that's not what this is. This is not an attack on chiropractic, but what it is an attack on is anything other than chiropractic that's natural. So vitamins, it's an attack. Massage, attack. Oils, attack. Now you say, well, wait, what? What do you mean by that it's an attack? What it means is, and this is all this all came from literally the coronavirus. Because of all this narrative out there of fake news and wanting to provide legit, helpful health information everywhere, there were people that took advantage of the situation. There were people that started posting vitamins as cure-alls for coronavirus and posting things, do these oils and you won't ever get the corona, and just saying a whole bunch of obligatory things just because they were trying to sell things quickly and to harp on and get on board with what was happening. So Google then just made it a policy basically saying, from here on out, natural stuff never gets priority. We're going to try to filter those things out. So what this means is, even though you're going to feel like this is an attack, it's not really an attack, and actually it's not really anything different than I've told you for the last 12 years. But now it's truly something you need to be aware of. And what that is I don't care if you do it in your office. I don't care if you sell vitamins, oils, whatever it is. But if it's not chiropractic, take it off your website immediately. This is not even, I'm not kidding. This is not just a tip. This is not a suggestion. I am telling you, if you want to make sure your listing doesn't start disappearing when people search, take everything that's not chiropractic off of your website. You can do it in your office, it's fine, but take it off your website. If you have reference to vitamins, take it off. Oils, take it off. Massage, take it off. Chinese, Western medicine stuff, take it off. You say, well, I don't want to take it off. Oh, these are things I like. I get it. But you can't have both. If you want to leave it off, you're going to have to suffer your ranking. You're going to have to suffer showing up. So you have to really put your money where your mouth is. If this is what you want, if you care more about the web education that, let's just be straight, nobody's reading. Good. But you can't leave it all up there and then complain about you not showing up in the search. Come off if you want to show up. That's what Google wants. I'm not saying I agree with them. I'm not saying it's the right thing at all. But that's the way this is. So if I'm going to tell you the requirement, take it off, take it down, or face the drop, because it's going to happen. Next, Google wants more reviews. Man, this is a fun one. This is a funny one for me, because I've literally been telling you for 15 years to get as many reviews as possible. Just get them. And I think this is one of the things that just drops off all the time. It's not the one that everyone takes seriously. If you want to be 1 or number 2 on the Google My Business map, you need a minimum of 300 reviews on Google. That's a minimum. You say, Ryan, that's crazy. That's a lot. It really isn't. If literally just 1 out of 2 of your patients that came in for the next month, you'd be almost there. Some of you would be already over that number. See, the trick isn't getting them. It's just getting people to get them. You need to ask them. You need to tell them to review you. Now, it's not just Google, though. Google's now counting reviews elsewhere. So you want especially the big 3. Google, Facebook, and Yelp. Those are the big 3 you want. Now, other ones like Foursquare, they're great too. But those three, we want those reviews, and we want those reviews all the time. But Google's the priority one. I'm going to show you in a little bit even where you'll see that on the deal, they're now even putting on there a little notation that says that these are the best ones. This is the top choice by our users because they're doing this off of reviews. Reviews are huge. See, reviews make up at least 20% of your ranking results. That is phenomenal. I can't even stress how big that is. There's nothing else quantifiable in terms of your ranking that we can actually add up and say it has that big a chunk and effect on what you do. So this is why this is huge. This is why this is so important that you do it. You need to focus on reviews. They want more reviews. We need them on Google. We need them on Facebook. And we need them on Yelp. So we have to start pushing and getting people to do reviews. Now, there is a catch to this that they've released. And it's basically you can ask, but you can't influence. So we want you emailing. I want you emailing your patients, asking them for reviews and getting ways for them to actually do the reviews. But Google just wants you asking for a review, not influencing what type of review. So you can't ask for a 5-star review. You can't ask for a positive review. Basically, I mean, naturally, if I'm going to be honest, you could say it. If you're in the office, you want to tell somebody, hey, we'd appreciate a positive review. There's nothing that can happen. But if you're emailing it out, if Google gets proof of this, if Google gets warned, they are saying they're going to start penalizing businesses that do this, that ask for 5-star reviews. The reason is because it's protecting everyone from basically what cruise ships do. If you've ever been on a cruise ship before, you know that when you get to the final day of the tipping, they always hand you this sheet of paper. It's this long sheet of paper with bubbles. It feels like you're taking the FCAT or something. It just feels like all these tests and SATs and the ACTs. And they always tell you, make sure you give us 5 stars on everything. If there's something you would give us 4 stars on, that's a fail. So if it's a 4-star, tell me now so I can fix it now. Otherwise, we need 5 stars. See, and everybody gets these 5-star reviews, and they're not really honest because we feel so forced into doing it. And that's not what Google wants on their reviews. They want people to give honest reviews. So you can ask for them. Ask for reviews, but you don't need to influence because honestly, reviews matter even if they're negative. Negative reviews really help you as well. It's always good to have negative reviews because no business can be perfect. None. Look at up any Ritz-Carlton hotel on TripAdvisor and see all the 1-star reviews. They're perfect, beautiful, luxury hotels. But even they get negative reviews sometimes. So you can ask for a review, but you have to make sure you ask for just the review and not actually influence the type of the review. Next, number 4. Number 4, excuse me. Google is prioritizing accurate directories. Ooh, this is a big one. This one's huge. Google wants their entire Google My Business profile completed. So your listing that comes up when you're doing a business search and it shows on the map, they want every single thing that they put on there filled out. If it's not, no matter how many reviews you have, even though those reviews help, you're not going to show up. You're not going to be on the top because they want to make sure everything is filled up. That means the phone number, the website, location, hours, pictures of your office, a promotion of your office, and your business description. They want all of those things. But here's the kicker. It says 40, but there's actually 30. They want the 30 other major directories. It could be up to 40 depending on what we're doing, but they want at least the major 30 other major directories to have the exact same info. They want to check whatever you put in their directory up against all the other major directories. So that means even if you've manually entered these, which is what most businesses do in the major ones, if you entered one number wrong, so if you put 555 Anytown Lane on Facebook, 555 Anytown Lane on Yelp, and then Google it's 556 Anytown Lane, just one number off, instant drop. Instant. Because they look at it and they say, well, how do we know that's where you are? How do we know which location to send them to? How do we know? Well, it's one number. It could just be next door. You could just walk over. No, we don't know. That's not accurate. See, they're going to penalize for that. They want every single one at every location and all of them to be matching. This is a big one. Now, here's a weird one. And this is where you don't realize how you can hurt yourself because you don't understand how Google thinks, because they want the same information in everyone. And that's not just the names, that's not just the listings, that's not even just the phone numbers. They want the location, the hours, the opening hours, Monday through Friday, what times you open, they want those to match everywhere else. So if you get emailed, because we get this, let's say it's Memorial Day, because this just happened. Memorial Day, they email and say, are you closed Memorial Day? You should update your hours on our website. Now, what they actually mean that they don't say is, you should update your hours on every website that there is that lists your hours. Because here's what happens. You change your hours on Google's page, and as soon as someone searches and Google notices that your hours on their page don't match what's on Yelp's, and they immediately say, we have no idea if they're open. Which just seems so backwards. Like, they ask for you to update it, you update it, but then they penalize you for updating it because you didn't update it in the 30 other locations that they think you should update it in. But they don't tell you to do it there. I'm telling you, it's backwards. It doesn't make any sense. But this is what it is. They want every single one, all of these locations, every time you make a change, they want it changed in every single major directory. So that's another toughie, but that's number 4. Number 5. This is going to be the hardest one for me to get you to get. Google doesn't need your website anymore. Now, if you look over here, I'm going to kind of look at my screen, so I won't look at you anymore. If you look at the phone that I've got over here, you'll see, even this is what I was talking about earlier, underneath the call button, you'll see where it says the red and closed. The next line on there says basically, number 1 recommended business by Google users. The second one down says the same thing. It has a little blue box that says the number 2 highest ranked location by Google users. This is where the reviews are making that big an impact that they're now pointing it out, that these are highly done, that this is who they recommend. So this is the way they see things pulling up. This is why organic doesn't matter anymore, because this is the way they see all businesses pulling up. But this is the big kicker to this. Google doesn't feel like they need your website anymore. See, online business profiles, just these things, just those things on there that they list underneath their map. Online business profiles on search engines and business directories get 4 times the traffic than websites receive. That means the majority of your customers, when they search for you, never get to your website because they either just find the one, they read the reviews, and then they click the call button. So 4 times more, which means all of this worrying and wondering about what do we do about websites is kind of out the window at this moment, because Google's saying we don't need it. Now, let me even take this even further, because I really predicted the weirdest thing. And back in 2007 when I started with the websites, and then 2009 when I taught my first big web marketing class, I came up with this thing I called the 5 W's for the web. And these were the things I said that every website should be doing in chiropractic that nobody was doing. Because back then, and even still to this day, the priority was always on chiropractic education. And I was saying, no, look, we need these basic things. This is what you need to focus on. It was the who are you? What is your solution to the problem? When can I come in? Where are you located? And why should I choose you? That's it. I said, it was even kind of taught in Google. They had it kind of hidden in all their materials. And I brought it out and said, look, this is what they want. But it's not popular. It's not what everybody wanted it to be. But this is what's happening. So I came out with this in 2009. It's how we've always done the way we've done things with web design or any type of marketing, is just focusing on these things. And now here we are in 2020, and Google My Business is centered around just that. Now, I'm not taking credit. I'm not saying this is my deal. I'm saying if you take notice of the who, what, when, where, and why, this is it. If you look at the phone that I put on the screen, the iPhone over here, I've put even one of our doctor's listings on here. The who is who you are. And it shows the pictures of your business. The when is in the update section and below, because the coronavirus thing that they're putting on the disclaimer, it's below the deal, but below there's where your hours are. That's when. When can I come in? There's the what. The what is the about section, which gives the description of what you do in all of your services. The where, the map with your location that they can actually just touch and instantly get directions to from their phone to get to you. And lastly, the why. It's not why chiropractic. Why does chiropractic work? No, the why is, why did everybody else go? So the why is the reviews section. So Google says, look, we're giving them all the information they need to know to make the decision. So it's not really on your website anymore. The websites we are now concerned with are the data ones, the ones that have thousands of articles, the ones that are just about content. That's what we want because content is king. But for small businesses, we really don't need your website anymore. So for that, everything that we need and we think they need is built into Google My Business. So that's why you need to give us everything, because we don't need the website. Now, why am I putting it out? Because understand this, a website's necessary. I'm not going to say you don't need a website. Every business has to have a website, obviously. Every business needs a website. But the rule is changing. And what's changing is Google is now saying, rather than investing in websites, you need to be investing in what is called local SEO. Now, most of you have probably heard SEO before. It's search engine optimization. And search engine optimization has always been something where you had information that you knew about a location. Like you'd have stuff on the back end of your website that was hidden and all these things and keywords and meta tags and all this stuff that had to be done. But that's changing because Google's not interested in just search engine optimization. What they want is local SEO. Now, what is local SEO? Local SEO has nothing to do with your website. That's right. This kind of search engine optimization doesn't need access to your website, doesn't add anything to your website, doesn't even do anything with your website. It has nothing to do with it. See, search engine optimization on your website is no longer a necessity. Robert Mueller, who I talked to about earlier, he said this. He said, as long as you're using a modern CMS, which is a content management system like WordPress, you are practicing their recommended standards for website SEO. So basically said, as long as you're using an updated version of any type of website, whether it be Wix or it be WordPress or Joomla or Drupal, whatever it be, as long as you're using the most up-to-date version, we see you as up-to-date on the SEO standards. But that doesn't mean you have anything to do with local SEO. Now, what is local SEO? Local SEO is paying for services. So basically, Google's saying this isn't free. You can't do this for free. We want money on the back end, and we're going to get it. If you want to show up, we're going to need payment. And that's where we're at. So local SEO is paying for services that monitor reviews, monitor analytics, and monitor business directory information. All the stuff I talked about previously of the 5 big changes, that's what this monitors. Okay? So that's why this is so vital and so important. So naturally, as I've probably scared you to death, so what do I do now? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you what to do. And hold tight. Don't let this thing end. Even if you're scared, even if you're nervous, hang tight to the end. I've got answers. I've got some major answers. I'm going to help make this as easy for you as possible. But right now, what you need to know is you need to stop working on your website. Stop it. Quit adding to it. Quit adding blog posts. Quit adding changes. Quit updating things. Quit messing with it. It's not making you any money. It's not getting you any new business. It isn't your website. Don't. Leave it alone. No matter how many locations you have, the goal should be now to spend as little on your website as possible and still look professional. In other words, it doesn't make sense to pay $300 a month for a website when you should be putting $300 a month into local SEO. It should be switched. Do you want cheap website? Put it in. Now, when I say cheap, it still needs to look good. Still needs to look professional. But that's not the priority. What the priority is stop working on your website. So since your website isn't going to help get you more visibility, it's silly to spend hundreds of dollars a month on it. That's just the bottom line. The next part, because of the reviews, you need reputation management software. Now, this is a software that allows you to be able to monitor all the reviews from all of these 30 plus sites. So you need to monitor the reviews from all these 30 plus sites, and not just monitor them, you need to respond to them. If someone gives you a compliment, you need to respond with a thank you. If someone responds with a negative, you need to respond with a how could we help fix it. But you need to respond to all the reviews in all the different locations. I know, as soon as you say, well, that's 30 websites. I know it's a pain. This is what they want. But these softwares that do this allow you to do it all from one place to make it easy. It also prevents surprise reviews. It prevents you from not seeing something pop up somewhere and wondering where it came from because it's pulling all the major places for you. The other great thing about the softwares that do this is that they allow you to import your emails into them so you can start asking for reviews directly from the emails. So that's really big. So now you're saying you're not doing it, you don't know how to do it. This is going to do it for you. These systems and software will automatically do it for you. The next one that you need listing distribution. So you need a listing distribution business listing software. So it's another type of software, and this is just for business listings. Because naturally, these 30 different places that you need your listing changed constantly, you don't want to have to manually do each one. It's going to take you hours upon hours, and it's going to be super annoying, even trying to keep up with the username and passwords for them all. So for this, what you really need to do is get a listing business software. And these listing distribution software programs, what they do is allow you to take one place where you change it in one place and you put it everywhere. In the past, we recommended a company called Yext. I don't recommend them anymore. Yext has had some really cruddy business practices and done some cruddy things. But I'm going to tell you who to use a little bit later, but I'm telling you, this is something you need. And that's basically what it does. You change it in one place and it changes it everywhere for you. Now, where do you get these services? Here's the real problem. This is the honest problem of it all. It's hard to find good ones. It's hard to find companies that are good at it. It's hard to find companies that are trustworthy at it. In fact, the best software in the world, all the companies that do it, if you contact them, they don't allow small businesses to use their software. They're not interested in signing up one every different place. Now, that may seem backwards to you, but they'd rather just focus on McDonald's and do all 20,000 of their locations or whatever they have. They want big companies. So trying to find the software and companies locally that do this and are reputable and can do it and do it well is challenging, because even the major companies require a minimum of 50 to 100 locations for this software. So piecing this together is difficult. It just is. It's difficult and it's challenging. But if you know me, you know that I don't like to leave you hanging. I don't like it that way. So what we did was, when this happened, we already knew this. We'd been looking into it for years and just we're waiting for the time to pull the trigger. And here we are. So what we did was we contacted each of those large companies about you, Integrity Doctors. And while most said no, one of the largest ones allowed us to represent you. So what this means is, one of the largest software companies that does all of the things I talked about, that does everything all in one, it's one all-in-one solution, they are going to allow us to be considered the main business and you to be considered our locations. Now, that does not mean that you're going to be listed on Google as Integrity Doctors and then that's it. No, you're going to get your actual location with your business names and everything. But they're doing it through us because they have to maintain their deal that it's only for companies. They need a minimum of 100 locations to do it. And I said, well, man, we've got that. And I'm sure there'll be plenty that'll want to do it. So we are going to do it for you. Now, this isn't going to happen just yet. This is coming out in the middle of June. But we are going to start taking requests for it to get you on board to do this. We're calling it chiropracticlocal.com. This is exclusive to us. We are super pumped about this. The ink just finished drying this morning on this contract. So that's why if you try to visit chiropracticlocal.com, it's not going to work, because this is that new and that fresh. But we wanted to make sure that before this live stream, we had the perfect solution for you. So what this means is you get access to the same companies. Other companies that use this software are Goodwill, Sprint, Vistaprint, tons of them. Over 7 million locations use this. From their statistics, they show in their deal that the average business location sees 8 times more digital traffic within 60 days of using their services in the software. 8 times. So this is huge. Now, I do want to just go ahead and say it. This isn't free, okay? It's under us, but this isn't free. So this is going to cost money. But to get 8 times more online traffic and to get 8 times potential more calls, it's worth it for that. And the good news is this doesn't take a lot of time. This gives you the software that your office can use to update these things. So it's not like you call it in and they update it. You have to do it, but it takes less than 10 minutes a week. That's it. Just to check on the reviews and update hours and update information. That's it. Less than 10, did I say 10 hours a week? Woo, wrong. 10 minutes. Man, I should read the screen better. 10 minutes a week for a chiropractic assistant. That's all you need. Any one of your CAs at the front desk can do this. It just takes less than 10 minutes a week to monitor and make sure this happens. So what you get with it is you get a full listing management. It goes through everything. Once we get you set up, you have to connect it to your Google account, connect it to a Bing account, and connect it to your Yelp. That way it can monitor all those very easy. And Facebook. You got to connect it to your Facebook account. So you want to connect it to those things, and all of them then will work in the same location. The one really cool thing is, and one of the reasons we were thrilled this company did, their system's super easy to use. The software is super easy. And one of the great things is they take all of the analytics from Google that nerds read, like that I don't even understand, and they take them and change them and make them into something that's easy. So you can have it all in one place. So you don't have to ever log into anything else again. So then you've got the full reputation management. So all of your reviews are in this one software, everything. Every single one is in there. So you can see like this one on there, a guy gave a review. And you can actually click the respond button and you can respond directly from there. It's just that simple. So this is easy. This is simple. This is all built in for you. It's all in one place and it's one login. So for those of you that have super clinics, it's one login. So you don't need one login for every single office. It's one, and you can have all your super clinics under one location. And like I said, these are the analytics. So they're super easy to read. You can see how many phone calls were clicked on the Google My Business section. You can see the kind of the purplish color is Google, the greenish color is Facebook. And you can see where people are coming from and where people are finding you. All of it's tracked, all of it's built in, and it's all built just for you. It's all simple and it's all super easy. It also includes the templated email system. So to email your patients and ask them for reviews, it automatically does it. Literally, you'll open the system, put in the email addresses, and that's it. It's already customized with your business name. It's already laid out. It will pull your patient's name out of it and will tell them to do the reviews. Super easy, super quick, and will have incredible results. And like I said, it's one login for every location you have. Now, one thing that is different, and as we go through this, this is how they do this. This is how all of them do that. The terms of the payment is per location. So there's a 1-year agreement, there's a 1-year minimum to do this, and it's $149 a month for your main clinic. So like I said, if you're paying $300 for your website now, find someone else who can do it for cheap, and then just pay this for $149, and this will get you to the top. This is where, now I can't guarantee it again, but if you want the best results, this is what it is. Now, whereas they typically just do a one flat fee per location, we're changing it up where if you have super clinics, it's $99 per location per month after that. So it's $149 per month per location for just one main clinic. If you have multiple clinics, it's another $99 per one. When you get your login, you'll be able to select each one if you have multiple clinics. So you'll be able to select the one you need to change, and you can change that one. So let's say you change your hours because something happens and a doctor leaves. You can do that, and we'll change it in all of those super clinics in every single listing for that super clinic only. But it's all under the one. So you can monitor all the reviews for every super clinic under one software. You can manage all the emails for everything under one software. You can manage all of the business listings for every location from 1 to 1,000,000. It's all in there, all built in. And then, but wait, there's more. So I wasn't kidding when I said I don't really feel like there's any value in a website anymore. So I thought I'd take it one extra further. This has nothing to do with the service. This is just something from me. This is a gift from myself. If you want it, if you don't want it, I don't care. So what it is when I say that I don't want you spending a lot of money on a website, I'd rather you just spend it on this because I don't think people are visiting the websites anymore, because that's pretty much the proof is what it is. What I want to do is I want to give you a free one. That's right. I want to give you a free website. So if you use this service, while you're using this service, you have the ability to use our free one-page office website. It's one page. It's just all the stuff they really need. It's all the basics. It's pretty. It's nice. It looks great. But that's it. It's not all the education. It's not all the stuff everywhere. It's not 100 pages. You can't customize 100 different things. No. You can update just the sections we have on it. You can email us and we can update just those sections there. But it's free. So if you want to do it and you want to make it easy, all you'll be spending is the $149 for your main location for the marketing, and you don't even pay for the website anymore. It's just built in. Now, if you have email addresses with us and you pay extra for email, that's not included, obviously. But it's a free website. And the only conditions with the website is the fact that it's free. You can't access to it. You send us the changes. We'll change them for you. That's built in. That's automatic. But you can't add extra stuff to it. You can't say, well, I want all this done. I want all these added. I have these things. No. It's a free website. You get what you pay for, man. It's free. But it looks beautiful. It's a great thing. It's a bonus. So it's awesome. In fact, let me just show you how it looks. So let me go I'm on my computer here. Let me kind of click off my deal here and show you just so we can, let me pull up a new tab. There we go. Look at the animation. Now you're going to watch as I scroll down, and it's going to it moves. The whole site pulls in. It's simple. It's clean. It's minimalistic. It is all built in, all real easy, as I keep scrolling here just to see the one long page. And that's it. That's the full website. And this is 100% free if you do this deal, if you want to use it. So all these, if you click on the button, so for instance, if I click on Our Doctor, it scrolls right down to the Our Doctor section. If I clicked on Locations, it'll scroll down to the Location section with the button for Patient Forms. If I click on the Frequently Asked Questions, it goes automatically all to the video section on Frequently Asked Questions. These are exclusive videos that are absolutely phenomenal. So use them. They are great. They are a great resource to have on here. And they all match the video materials that we have in your offices. And we have this great little slider that talks all about the ways that your spine is affected when things are out of line and how it can affect different parts of the body. So that's all built in. That's all easy. I'm telling you, it's a great website. It's a great service. I'm thrilled and pumped to be able to just offer it to you. But like I said, if you want to use it, great. Now you say, well, I don't want to use it. So how much is it without it? It's still $149. It's free. It's not worth anything. It's not, so it's free. There's no like, well, can I get a discount? No, that's my point. I'm saying I don't think it's worth paying for, so I don't want you to pay for it. So I would just do this. I would just do it. It can handle multiple locations. It can handle as many locations as you want. So it's just a way to give you a fresh, simple place to put things up there. And then we can link to your ChiroTouch forms. We can link to your any type of digital forms. Or we can put a big packet of forms on there under one button. It's all built in. It's all easy. It's all simple. So that's that. If you want it, otherwise it works with any website. If you have any other website, you love your website, you want to keep your website, I'm good with that. I'm fine with that. You can keep your website. You still pay the $149 a month for the service. So it's just the software fee. But if you want a free website, I'm going to give it to you. And I'm not just going to hand it over to you and let you have it forever. It's free while you use the service. So that's the catch. It's just an added bonus for doing this. You want to do it? I'll let you use this one deal website, and that way you're only paying for the SEO, the local SEO, and not anything else. So just to recap, how do you get it? You can get it on the Client Connection page starting pretty much in a couple minutes. As soon as I hang up from here, on your Client Connection page in the shop section, we will have a registration area where you can go ahead and pre-sign up. Once we have it all up and ready, we will contact you first. Everyone who signs up first gets immediately on it. So we're going to get you on it. So it's in the shop section of the Client Connection page. If you're not an Integrity Doctors client, and this all just sounds too good to be true, and you want to try it, you want to do it, you got to join. You got to join. And you can even just start easily by looking down at the bottom of the screen here, and you can see if you go to integritydoctors.com/signup, you can get a free personal consultation with us to talk about anything, just how we can help your business. But this is the type of stuff Integrity does. This is who we are. We don't like to just tell you, here's the ideas, go figure it out. We like to give you everything you need to know. So you fill out the form. It's a 1-year minimum, $149 for your main clinic, and any super clinics after that are $99 a month per location. Otherwise, it's $149 per month for your first location. And that's it. Make sense? Man, I did that. It's under an hour. It's under an hour, and we did it in, we made it. So naturally, super pumped. That was a lot. I know it was a lot. Again, if you have any questions over it, no question is too stupid, okay? You're going to say, well, that's a dumb question. I hate to ask it. No, it's not. Just text me, 941-214-9007. That's all you have to do. It's real easy. It's on the screen here. You can't miss it. Somewhere around here. There we go. There it is. It's backwards for the camera. But that's it. hey, this has been fun. This has been awesome. I've also got some other things planned that are coming up. We'll make some announcements on later. But I hope this helped you. I hope this laid it out. But like I said, we're going to give you the all-in-one solution. It's just $149 a month. And we're going to give you a free website if you want it. So it's a great thing. It's a super awesome thing. Super pumped that you watched today. Thank you for hanging with me on this deal. I'm Ryan Mall. Check us out at Integrity Doctors. Check me out on the podcast. I do have a podcast, the Expect Awesome podcast, so check me out on there. Love to see it. I also have a book out. You might have seen it somewhere. My book is called I Am Awesome. It's a children's book about confidence. It's how to build a God-powered confidence in your children. So I highly recommend that. I think it's a great, great tool. And I'd love for you to use it. I'd love for you to have your kids see it. It's available on Amazon. It's available at Barnes & Noble. It's available at Walmart. Let me pull it up here. I think I can get it on the screen. Maybe not. Maybe not. But what this is you can also order it from my website at ryankmall.com. And if you order from there, I will sign it and personalize it for you. And you'll get one sent directly from me. So that was fun. This has been a great time. This has been awesome. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Again, text me any questions, 941-214-9007. Great seeing you. Have an awesome, awesome day. If I don't keep pushing, someone else is going to push you the wrong way. You realize that's what happens to your patients too, don't you? Somebody else pushed them. Or the one you really don't want to think about is they pushed you. You didn't push them. See, pushing means understanding that your push is the definitive difference between life and death for your patients. You don't push them through the treatment plan. They push open to the Walgreens pharmacy. You don't push them on this treatment plan and getting to wellness care, and they push open the door to surgery, to prescription. See, it isn't that they leave you and don't do anything. They pushed a little hard. So if somebody's gonna push, you need to be the one that's pushing. Because whoever pushes first wins.